Modern Handgunners, everybody. I'm Bob Main.
I'm Ben Branham, and today we're going to talk about shooting one hand and one hand only.
Yes, and the reason we're going to talk about that is we both have a close personal friend. We won't use his name, but I got an email from him saying that he's had shoulder surgery for the second time.
And he really can't lift his arm up this high to even get his gun up to his face to shoot.
Yeah, and it's his left shoulder. And I had shoulder surgery about 12 years ago also, and it's not fun. And I remember I went competition shooting as soon as I was able to get out of my sling, and most of it was one-handed. So I want to talk about that. Most people don't practice one-handed shooting, and they don't normally like it. Why, Ben?
Because it's harder. You look worse, you go slower, your hits aren't as good, you can't go as fast, and your groups suck.
And
if you go from your strong hand, I'm right-handed, and then you go to your weak hand, it sucks even more.
Yeah, but you got to practice it. It's something you got to do. What if you end up having some kind of a surgery, and you still want to carry your gun and defend your life, but you can only use one hand to do it? You got to be proficient with your right hand or your left hand by itself, right?
Yeah, and the probability of you getting an injury in a gunfight and not being able to use one hand or the other is pretty low because we haven't seen it a lot, right?
No.
You study gunfights, it's happened, but it doesn't happen a lot.
But we're not talking about only the gunfight.
What does happen a lot?
Life
Happens, and you fall off your bike because my wife wiped out the other day when we went biking with our family.
Yeah.
You fall off the bike, and then it hurts, and now you can't stand up.
Right.
So, yeah, when that happens, you got to have a plan B.
Yeah.
So if you're practicing right now to go, right hand only because your left hand's in the sling, or what you and I do, we even have mirror images where we will wear a holster on our left side and mags on our right, and we will go all just left-handed, so that if I do have a major injury on my right hand, my right arm or something, it's in a sling, it's in a cast, I can still shoot and defend myself.
So get a left-handed holster for your carry gun and practice. That's a good idea.
Just a little bit, because if you're in a sling and you're on pain meds and you just came from the hospital, you're not going to want to do dry practice, and you're not going to be able to order a holster. You're going to have one there ready to go and have the skills already, because after you come off of any surgery, it's painful, you're kind of out of it, you don't want to do anything. That is not the time to learn a skill.
No,
that is the time to have the skill, because you are in the middle of, well, I hate to call it a crisis because everything's a crisis nowadays, but really it's a personal problem for you. It's a personal crisis that you might be out of work, that all these things. You don't need your self-defense to be on top of it, where you got to learn a new skill and get new equipment. So have that mirror image set up and be ready to go. Which means have skills.
And
which means practice.
And I'll finish with this point. Ben, you and I do a lot of competition shooting. And I think it's really funny at some of these competition matches. Some good shooters, I mean masterclass level shooters. And when there's a stage and they got to shoot certain targets with their weak hand, they fall apart.
Yeah.
And it's unbelievable. And I can tell that even though they're a masterclass shooter, they're not practicing their one-handed shooting.
Yep. You can see that everywhere. So, I practice with the left hand only. And really, it's a gimmick at our classes. We'll go do long-range shooting, and I'll go back with all the students, and I'll shoot with them. Yeah. And then I'll go left hand, one hand only, and still make that hit at 75 or 100 yards.
There you go.
It's possible. It's a gimmick. It just takes practice, like you would with your other hand, like you would with two hands.
But it's a legitimate thing to practice, not just a gimmick. It's a legitimate thing to practice, I think. That's my opinion.
So it looks like a gimmick when I pull it out at the range, and I go, look at how well I can shoot one-handed. But for me, you're right. It is a normal skill for me. It is a tactical skill, and it is one I use. And handgun, not as much, but on rifle, I'm definitely ambidextrous. Years ago, I saw an interview translated from Russian to English, and it was a Russian soldier that had survived Stalingrad from like day one to the end. And he's asked, how the heck did you survive when everybody else died? Because it was a slaughterhouse. And he said, because I could shoot off of both shoulders.
Ah, okay.
So when I heard that interview probably 20-something years ago, I went, I'm ambidextrous.
Yep, you're going to be now. All right, so practice your one-handed shooting. As a matter of fact, Ben, on our Shooters Club, there are a few videos about how to get better with your one-handed shooting. So if you like this video, you want more like it, join our Shooters Club. In the show notes, you'll see a direct link It's the two of us with a lot of good instructional videos.
80
Some
to
of them
90 videos right now.
we live fired. We did video at our classes.
And we did everything from holster work, offhand, magazine changes, and all the way up to team tactics.
Yeah.
So it's
yeah,
all in there in the Shooters Club for you to go learn.
Okay, so since we just got done talking about one-handed shooting, Ben, should we show them how to practice it?
We're out on the range, we gotta shoot. So
All right.
left hand only, 15 rounds.
Because we're both right-handed.
Yeah, don't miss. Whoever's faster wins.
Okay.
You can say go.
All right, go. I only shot 9 rounds.
Oh!
How many did you shoot?
15.
You win.